Everything happens as it should. Every moment, decision, encounter, mistake, lesson, step forward, step backward, failure, dream, and breakthrough are the little dots that create the sum of your life. Each experience leads to the next, and although in the present moment it may seem that everything is scattered and all over the place, one day soon you will be able to connect the dots between each part of your life. And when you do, you will come to the realization that a life without even one of those parts would have not made you the person that you are today. Trust that in this life, everything happens as it should. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Broken, Healing, Evolving. As you guys can see from the title of this video, we will be talking about my journey as a chemical engineering student. So if you guys are new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe and join the Broken, Healing, Evolving family, and like and share and hit the notification bell. So let's get right into it. And as you guys can see, we have a friend today. So guys, this is my baby. Her name is Janae. We have been separated for like some time, but now she's back. But let's get into the video. So if you guys looked at my intro video, you will see that I did say that I was a chemical engineering student at the University of Pretoria. But yeah, I'm gonna go deep into it today and explain everything. Great. Okay guys, so I wrote down some questions for myself just so I can structure my story properly. So I'm gonna start first with like explaining how it is that I got into chemical engineering. So okay, in high school, or rather my entire life, I've always been a dancer. I love dancing. It's just a part of me, you know. I just feel like it's my purpose to dance and perform. We almost shine. So when I was in high school, I remember my mind was set on studying performing arts. So I told my parents that I'm gonna study performing arts, you know. And then matric, they told me that girl, no, you can't study performing arts because look at the industry. Look at how people in the art, like the performing arts or the entertainment industry, how they were struggling during COVID and stuff. So they told me that I need to get like a career or degree that's gonna give me like a foundation, you know, being a doctor, being an engineer, being a lawyer, those kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, now I don't know what to do because honestly speaking, I don't see myself as a doctor. I didn't see myself as an engineer. I didn't see myself as a lawyer. No. So I was like, okay, fine, Larato. Look at your subjects. What is it that you excel in and what is it that you actually enjoy and you wouldn't mind doing after school? So one of the subjects that I excelled in was physical science. But in physical science, I lacked the chemistry part of it. So I was like, okay, what can I do that has a lot of chemistry, you know, or that's chemistry or orientated? So I researched and I saw that I can study chemistry. But then I think the jobs or the careers in like chemistry when you're having a BSc, for me were not really interesting, and the money as well didn't look good for me. So I was like, no. And then I searched engineering, and mechanical engineering was a no for me. Civil engineering, industrial, all of these things for me was like no. And then I saw chemical engineering. I was like, okay, I know I've been telling myself that I'm never gonna do engineering because I didn't see myself working at a plant. Like the job they do for me is really boring. I'm like, I didn't see myself working in a factory or those kind of things. I was like, nah. But because I had to find a foundation, I had to figure out, I'm in matric, I have to figure out what I want to study like now, you know. So I was like, okay, cool. Chemical engineering, it's the only engineering faculty that has the only engineering that has engineering course that has that has chemistry, right? Because all the others, they don't have chemistry. So one thing though that I didn't know is that as much as chemical engineering has chemistry, it only has like 1% chemistry and 99% is chemical engineering. So yeah, that's how I got into studying chemical engineering. So I studied it at the University of Pretoria. I chose the University of Pretoria, reason being, at that time when I researched, I don't know if it's still the same now, but at that time when I researched, UP had the best engineering faculty. So I was like, why not go there? And also, Futi, guys, there's just something about Pretoria, I just wanted to be there. Okay, and also, guys, something that I think pushed me to study chemical engineering was that I got a bursary for it. So I was like, maybe it's God telling me that my child go study chemical engineering. You know, it just seemed like everything in chemical engineering, line. Like there was just everything, like regarding chemical engineering was just falling into place. Like it was effortlessly falling into place. You know, so I thought maybe this is God's way of telling me that this is something that you're supposed to do. Because I get to sometimes we know that our plans do not sometimes align with God's plan. So I thought that maybe this is God's plan for my life, So yeah. Next question. Next question is, how would I describe my experience as a chemical engineering student, and also what challenges I had, So I think the words I would use to describe my experience of being a chemical engineering student would be, it was really terrible. It was draining. In capital letters, bold letters, draining. I think that's the best word to use to describe my experience. It was really draining. I was so unhappy. Like, I was the most unhappy person in the entire world. I've never been that unhappy in my entire existence like I was for the past 2 years. So yeah, so what are the things that challenged me? I think number one, it's that chemical engineering, number one, it's very difficult. Like, it's a very difficult course, very demanding. You need to work your butt off. And yeah, it's just really difficult. It's really difficult. And yeah, I think with me, the fact that I didn't like it, I didn't have any passion for it. Like, it was really boring. I remember first year, I tried to convince myself that, Lagata, you love this. Sometimes you lie to yourself to a point where you start believing your own lies. So I used to lie to myself and be like, okay, fine, I do want to be a chemical engineer. I want to create my own chocolate. Yeah, I remember saying that a lot because I'm a chocoholic. So that's how I motivated myself to like work hard and to keep on studying. I always tell myself I want to one day create my own chocolate. I want to one day create my own skin products. I just wanted to create things. Yeah, but I never envisioned myself working. I didn't want to work at a plant, but I I lied to myself and convinced myself that I don't want an office based workplace. Working at a plant is amazing most because you're not in that, you get what I'm saying? You're not in that one place the entire time. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or how I rather encouraged myself to study. But it was very difficult. So the first thing that challenged me was meeting up to, or like measuring up to my bursary's expectations. It was really hard. Like, it was so hard because I couldn't, whenever I felt like I'm a failure because they'd have this mark that they wanted, or these marks, or this percentage they wanted me to have, and I couldn't get it. I would work really hard. I tried getting tutors. I did everything I possibly could, but still I wouldn't get that mark. And it put a lot of pressure on me because um if I don't get the mark they want, they are going to drop me. And so I felt like, damn, if they drop me, I'm not gonna go to university because my parents don't have funds to take me to university. And then I'm an overthinker, ne? So I thought that if I don't go to university, I'm gonna be unemployed. If I'm unemployed, I'm gonna be poor. If I'm poor, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna be unhappy. Like, I just thought about everything. And I was like, no, I can't have that. So having all of those thoughts in my head, like, it pressured me so much because I felt like my life depended on me keeping my bursary. So I had to get the marks that they want, but I couldn't get them. So I was like, it was just really hard. And I think that's something I didn't understand with my journey, or like, I didn't understand how I work really hard and I just get the bare minimum. Like, I pass, but some, like, I didn't understand why I'm not getting them distinctions, So yeah, and how difficult it was to get a 50%. I didn't understand why it's so difficult. So I think the pressure of my bursary, like, it brought so much pressure on me to a point where sometimes I wouldn't be able to function. Like, whenever I write a test, I'd be so anxious that I even forget my student number. Like, I'd sit there and be like, okay, what is my student number? 3 minutes passed, like, and I'm still like, what's my student number? Like, I just froze and I forgot. My mind was not functioning properly because of the pressure that I felt was on me. The second thing that challenged me was comparison. I compared myself a lot. I think being in an engineering faculty, you meet a lot of smart people. Not saying you're not smart. If you get into engineering, you're also smart. But you meet a lot of really smart people. And I think me being surrounded by people who were smart, I was like, or people, thing is, these students, they know things that I don't even know. It's like, maybe things also, some have parents who are already engineers, so they would know some things that I didn't know. And I'm like, how'd you know that? I don't know that. Am I stupid? I was like, I felt like a dumb. Like, I felt like a dumb cop. That's how I felt. And that, it stressed the fudge out of me. I was like, what is wrong with me? So I started to compare myself a lot, and yeah, it drove me crazy. And then the next thing that I struggled with was motivating myself to keep going. I no longer, in the beginning, my first year, I was able to motivate myself, because if I don't get that mark, I'd be like, okay, I have to work hard this time. And then but it got to a point where I could no longer motivate myself because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I was like, I hate this. I really hate this. But I have to keep going because I don't want to be poor and I don't want to lose my bursary and blah, 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 blah. You get? So that's how it was. My life was just a mess. I just stressed myself a lot, Like, it was as if my life depended on that. And also, one thing about me, like, throughout my entire life, my academics have been my everything. My academics have been my identity. So seeing myself lose, like, in the academic aspect of my life, which is like my everything, I was like, I felt like I was losing myself. Like, I felt like, what's the point of me being alive if I'm not excelling in my academics? Like, my life was revolving around academics. Like, nothing else mattered. So when my academics was like shikukukuing, I lost my will to live. I was like, I don't want to live no more. I remember even my first year in 2021. I remember at the end of the year when, like, I was really struggling. The first semester, I think I failed like 2 modules or 3 modules. I don't know, out of six or seven, somewhere there. And then, okay, I tried again second semester to keep myself pushing. I pushed myself. I'm like, oh, look, you can do this. Work harder, get tutors, blah, blah, blah. I did it. And then yet I still failed some modules second semester. So then I felt like, what's the point of my living? And I also felt like I'm going to lose my bursary. So I remember I was already saying goodbye to my friends because I was so sure I might kill myself. Like, I was really sure that I'm going to commit suicide. I had a plan. I was going to do it. But then, by the grace of God, my bursary gave me another chance. And then I felt like, because God is giving me this other chance, I must continue studying chemical engineering for the second year, So I didn't stop. I still continue studying chemical engineering. And then the other thing, the thing that challenged me, or the thing that I struggled with the most, was my fear of failure. I was so scared of failing. Like, you guys, Lerato and failure were two different things. I understood when when motivational speakers be like, failure is something, it's part of the way to success. I got it, but I was like, not for me though. I ain't gonna fail. Failing is not part of my vocabulary. I was like that, but so my fear of failure crippled me. Like, I could no longer study. Like, it got to a point where, guys, I don't know how to explain. Whenever I touch my books, I get a headache. Whenever I try to go to my books, I get anxiety. It got to a point where sometimes I'd wake up in the morning, get ready to go to school. But the moment I get to the gate, I get an anxiety attack. I see people, I get overwhelmed. I can't think anymore. And then if I'd go back to my room and I'd sleep, imagine, I have classes during the day. I'd miss all of them because I just had an anxiety attack and I can't breathe and I can't think and oof, my mind is foggy and I'm dizzy. Everything was just happening. A lot of things were just happening in my mind, and so I had to go back to my room and sleep and drink medication. And my medication would drug me to sleep, yeah. So, okay, that was that. And then, also something that challenged me was keeping up with the lecturers. I struggled with keeping up with the lecturers. They are so fast. Oh, guys, they will finish an entire book within a week. And thing is also with engineering, this engineering test week every 2 weeks in June, like we're always writing. We write tests every single week, and that for me was so overwhelming. I was so overwhelmed. Like you try to catch up in this module you're writing, and it was just a lot. And I was not managing. For me, I couldn't manage, because now I'm thinking I hate this degree, but I have to study. I have to push myself. My bursary manager wants this. There was a lot of things in my head, and I wasn't functioning properly. It really messed up with my mind. My mental health also was declining, guys. It was declining. And it was just, I was in and out of, I was seeing a psychologist I think every single week, 3 times a week each year, I had to go and see my psychologist. And I even had 3 different psychologists. I had one, it wasn't working, they referred me to another one. She referred me to another one. And then finally I got the perfect one who really helped me. And then at some point I had to go see a psychiatrist. Hey, hospital. Hey, guys, hectic. So, yeah. And I feel like it's just doing something you don't love. Like, guys, it is chemical engineering in itself. According to me and according to other people, for me, it's the most difficult engineering course within the engineering faculty. It is really difficult. So yeah, it needed someone who I think it needs someone who has amazing time management, someone who really works really hard, and number one, who has passion for chemical engineering. Yeah, someone who sees themselves doing it. I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't that someone. So the next question, highlights I had as a chemical engineering student. So I really, really enjoyed our chemistry practicals, because we got to like mix things. I wanna see things go poof, not literally, but just see things. I love chemistry, so I love working with chemicals. I really enjoyed my chemistry practicals. That was the highlight for me, being able to create things and like just do things and know why this is like this, and what I'm saying, I really enjoyed it. And also something about it was, whenever people asked me, what are you studying, I would probably say I'm studying chemical engineering, and they'd be like, oh girl, we study like whenever you're doing like chemical engineering or engineering, you just have that thing about you, girl, why you do that? Why you do that to yourself? Like, oh my gosh, you must be really smart. So it felt really nice, but very good. I felt really smart when people react in that way. And I felt like, I'm doing something that is really challenging, and I'm so proud of myself. God, I was dying in that something and I was not happy, So I think those are the highlights. So I made friends, within my faculty, and it was really great being with those friends, studying together, just being around people who, like, I don't know how to explain it. People who think differently, they helped me grow, they supported me, they helped me. Like, I think those are the highlights I have. Meeting new people. I love meeting people. I love making friends. So for me, the friends that I made there were amazing. So yeah. The other question, it's, do I know Lerato without academics? Like, do I know myself without putting academics in it? So for now, in this moment, I think I'm learning, in this gap year that I'm taking, I'm learning about who I am without school. Who am I without academics? Who am I without my grades? It's because my entire life I've always been Lerato in the top 10. Lerato, academics, Lerato, maths, Lerato, science, Lerato, that's me. Even where I stay, like honestly, I've stayed here where I'm staying since 2017 or 18. But in that like duration that I was like in that during that time that I was staying here, I was not a person who goes outside and see friends. Trust me, around here I got no friends because I was always that girl who's like, whenever I come back from school, I'm in my room. What am I doing? I'm studying. That's who I was. My happiness came from my grades. Whenever I had good marks, I felt very fulfilled. Like it made me who I am. And without school, without academics, I was nobody. So I think this year now that I really have, I'm doing nothing related to school. Like I'm just living, and I'm learning about who Lerato is without academics, without school. Do I fully know who that Lerato is yet? I don't, but I'm learning. So what has this journey taught me? I think one thing, or one of the things that this journey taught me, was that when it comes to gardening, I learned that the presence of troubles in your life do not mean that God is not there. So when my academics were like, shikukukuing, I felt like, yo, God deserted me. God, you have forsaken me, because I used to be the person where in my first year, guys, every Sunday I would be at church. Hey, I made sure I go to church because, I don't, yeah, because, yeah, God has always been there for me. Like in high school, I was a praying girl. Like I was reading my Bible. I spent time with God, and my academics were, poof, I was always excelling. So when I got to university, I kept doing the same thing I was doing, just go to church, spend time with God and put God above everything else. But honestly speaking, God was not above everything else. My God was my books. My God were my school books, and God came after that. Like even when I'm writing exams on Sunday, I wouldn't go to church because I'm writing an exam on Monday. So no, I'm not gonna go to church because I have to study. So yeah. So in university, when I started to experience what failure is and what it feels like, I was like, where is God? I didn't understand why. God, I'm working hard. Number one, I am praying, and yet I'm failing. It doesn't make sense. In high school, when I felt like, yo, God, okay, fine, I'm scared. This is difficult. Help me. God would help me. That's how I felt. Like God is there. God gives me distinctions. God gives me. I ask for this. God gives me. So when I got to university, I'm like, God, I want this mark, or God, help me understand. God, where are you? That's how I felt. I felt like God deserted me, and honestly speaking, I almost lost my faith. At some point, I was like, you know what, God, I'm not gonna pray. I stopped praying. I stopped going to church because I'm like, what's fine? I go to church, I don't go to church. God doesn't help me. God is not present. I thought that God wasn't there because I saw myself going crazy. I saw myself losing myself. I was losing my mind. I didn't want to live. Like, guys, my life was really terrible. Like, I had no life. Like, I don't know how to explain that feeling, but I felt like I have no purpose. Like, nothing gave me joy. I was unhappy. Every single day I wanted to die. Like I didn't like I had no will to live. And I felt like God deserted me. Like I think God was my like he was my hope nyana. I was like, at least but then I prayed, awa, I could pass it still. I prayed I don't get the specific mark that I want, you know. And so I didn't understand why God would. I remember I used to ask God, why did you bring me here? Why did you give me this amazing metric marks? And then I got into this difficult course that I felt like, what I needed to do. And first year, you made things work out for me. You got me a bursary. God, you did this, you did that. Why are you failing me now? I didn't understand. Why did you bring me here only for me to fail? You know? And then that's why I turned my back on God, because like God is not giving me what I want if I'm gonna leave him. I felt like God left me. I felt like God didn't care about me, or he didn't care about what I want. I could see him help other people, and I'm like, God, why aren't you helping me? So yeah, studying chemical engineering or just being a student really like messed up my relationship with God. It messed up my relationship with myself. It messed up my relationship with my friends, my family members. Like I started to become that person who is. I didn't like to communicate with people. I didn't like to talk to people. I would talk to them about other things, but like guys, I don't know what to explain. I even started clubbing, drinking alcohol. Like I was just this lost soul. I was like Yazini. I remember, like, even if I'm in a car, I feel like, you know what? Even if I get into a car accident, I'm fine. Like I'd walk out late at night knowing that people are getting robbed. I'd be like, may they please rob me. When they rob me, I will say no, and then they will be forced to shoot me or to stab me to death or something. Like I would put myself in those situations where I knew I could die because I felt like if I'm not doing well in school, then that I have no purpose. My purpose was academics. Like I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So God is always there. Like now I realize, Uti, God was there throughout the failing, the me losing my mind. God was there because look at me. I'm here today. I'm still living and I'm breathing. At that moment, I felt like I wanted to die and I felt like my life had no purpose. But now today, I want to live. I want to live. And also like what I feel this journey has taught me, um, do not be afraid of failure. Do not be scared of it. Do not be scared of failing, because I think that's gonna cripple you. Fear will cripple you guys. So don't be scared of failing, and I think there's no such thing as a waste of time. If you study a certain degree and in the middle of the degree you figure out Gutierrez and I don't like this degree, then stop it, do something else. Don't force yourself to do something that you don't love. Like love yourself to a point where you wouldn't do something that when I inside of you Guti, this makes me unhappy and I'm unhappy. Don't do that to yourself. Spend time with yourself. Like no Jay, I have a lot of time to spend with myself. And one thing I know I'll never do is to do something that I don't love. Or I'm not gonna put myself in a position where I don't love something that I do. And also, it also taught me not to compare myself with other people. Like we're all malumung. Like you as an individual, you are in your own race in life. Don't compare yourself to someone else. Don't compare your journey to someone else's journey. Live your life, live your journey, and if ever you are in a position where you are losing your mind, you're losing yourself like hours, or if you're studying a degree, you feel stuck, you're in a space for hours, and please give yourself a break. Take a gap year, like I am. Take a gap year. Try and figure out what it is you need to do. I feel like this thing, Yori, we pressure ourselves with, oh my gosh, by this age I want this, by this age I need to have this, blah 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 blah. Don't do that. Just don't, like play like your own timeline. Like go at your own pace. So I think that's something I learned. And also it has brought me closer to God because I don't know how to explain that, but it's brought me closer to God. Because I realized through it all, He's been there. And like I guess now I'm not scared of failing. Like if it happens, I fail. Fail it. We'll pick ourselves up. What advice would I give to matriculants or just people in high school? The thing that I feel like I wish I could have done was to research properly, research what it is I wanted to do and not just also focus on the money. I know we all want the bag, honestly. We all want it. We all want to live comfortably and rich and the soft life. Yeah, so I think the advice I'd give people in high school or matriculants is please do your research. Please research what you want to study. Make sure with the thing you're going to choose, you love it. At least be interested in it. Don't just do it because your parents tell you to do it or because people around you tell you to do it. Like you have to have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, are you willing to spend 4 years studying this thing? And also ask people who are already studying what it is you want to study. Ask them, what are your modules? Research those modules, like what they're about. Like do your research because I feel like you don't want to spend a life unhappy. Yeah, and so guys, that's how my journey as a chemical engineering student ended. I only studied it for like 2 years, and then well, after that I am here taking a gap year, which I'm super grateful for. This was very unexpected. I wanted to push myself to continue doing chemical engineering like for the third year, but I think God had other plans, yeah, so and I'm really grateful for it because I no longer that thing that I felt now I feel so crazy that I wanted to kill myself because I remember I told myself that if I told God, I was like, it's either I pass chemical engineering or I go to heaven. You choose. You see, you choose. So I was like, if I fail, I'm dying. I'm taking myself to heaven, whether God likes it or not. That's how I felt. So yeah, I think now I'm no longer in that space. I'm so happy that I'm no longer in that space, and God put me like that He took me out of it. And I remember the first time, like I think the first few weeks, the first few days I spent at home, I wanted to kill myself, but there was that part of me, I don't know where it came from. It was like, thank God. Thank God. No more bursary pressure. Woo! No more chemical engineering pressure. Woo! Like there was that part of me that was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for my brain to rest. I can't wait to have a relaxed mind. And I was like, and now that part of me and the part that wanted to kill itself, they were like, now this one's like, why like girl, why you want to kill yourself? It doesn't make sense anymore. You're finally free, you know. And I think that's when I sat down with myself and I was like, thank you, God. Like, I'm fine now. I don't feel like dying. Like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it's a good feeling. I'm like, I don't feel like dying. Like the way I used to feel when I was in university, every single day waking up was like, oh my gosh, why? Like I'd wake up and be like, I'm still alive. I don't have that feeling no more, you know. And I'm like, thank you, God, for this journey that I had. You know, it has strengthened my relationship with God. I want to know myself more now. Like I know I'm so prepared for university that I've done my research, you know, and you know I'm sharing. Yeah. So yeah, guys. So yeah, I guess I hope you guys learn from my video, I hope you guys learned from my experience, you know, and please put your mental health before everything else. It's your mental health is very important. So whatever it is you get yourself into, if ever it hinders your mental health, take a break or reevaluate, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the story time. Yes, I have been meaning to tell the story. I'm so glad. I never saw myself in this position, telling the story with a smiley face. Look at the smile. So anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. So please do not forget to like, subscribe, to share, and hit the notification bell. I really do appreciate you guys watching my videos, and peace. Have an amazing day.